thanks to the support as a channel member, Andrew McRobbie. Oh, we're getting to that point where exciting things keep happening for the first time ever, and this is a very exciting one for me personally because we play against my team, Peterborough United, in the league, and it wasn't so long ago I didn't think we'd ever get the opportunity to do that. Hello and welcome to part 106 of Wembley to Wembley. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have that massive away game against the Posh. Plus, we're at home against Ipswich, League One Ipswich, in the league. Since you were last with me, mixed results, I think, is the nicest way of phrasing this, which basically means we've not won very many of our football matches, but the one we did win was a big win. We beat Sheffield United 5-2. Sean McHugh, who has emerged as our best striker, getting a hat-trick in that game. He's got 6 goals from 6 appearances since his return to the club. He was last on loan with us as part of that first batch of loads of loans way back when, and we didn't really use him. And I'm now wondering how different things might have been over the last couple of years if we had have used him. Although, to be fair, we got promoted anyway, so I guess it wasn't that much of an issue. But certainly he has developed over the last couple of years since he was last with us into a superstar. 6 goals from 6 appearances. It's his pace that does it. That pace is causing real problems. I'm not sure how many of these boys were here in the last episode either, because I've had another one of those gaps of a week or so between recording videos. So had you met Ches Stratton, our new reserve defensive midfielder, or Liam Richardson, another reserve defensive midfielder? I'm not sure that you had. And Henderson Derbyshire's got out on loan along with Kelleher. So they're the most up-to-date transfers. And the most up-to-date league table is this one. We are meeting the Kev ratio. 8 points from 8 games, 17th in the league. We've been handed a big favour by Sheffield United, getting a 12-point deduction for going into administration. You don't often see that happen in the leagues that I'm playing in. But it wasn't me. A team went into administration and it wasn't me. Sheffield United, who are in free fall, they were in the Premier League just 5 years ago, got relegated from the Championship last year, clearly financially haven't been able to cope with it, so they've gone into administration. They're under a transfer embargo and as a result are rock bottom of the league. If they hadn't have had the 12-point deduction, they would be up in 7th place. No, they wouldn't. They'd be mid-table, 10th. Yeah, because they're on -1. Kev maths. They'd be above us, but we did put 5 past them. But they do have the best striker in the league, Alan Gerrard, who presumably won't be with them for very much longer. He's wanted by, no one will ever know, he's wanted by some big clubs and Swansea. And yeah, I imagine he's going to be on his way relatively soon. They spent £6.5 million on him. They're operating in a whole different world. They're in administration. I would like to point out as well that despite being in administration, they're still spending so much more on wages than we are. That's net. So their net transfer spend was 2 million, despite going into administration. Ours was 30,000. Their salary expenditure nearly £7 million a year. Despite being in administration, we spend less than £1 million. So it's still not a level playing field. It's very upsetting. But we're going to try and win a football match today. And we're going to try and win that football match against Peterborough United. Do they still play at the Western Homes Stadium, London Road? Yes, there we go. No new ground for Posh in this version of the universe. Let's go beat them, shall we? And this is the team we're going to try and beat them with. So it's Randall in goal, a back 4 of Bernard, Lloyd, Bedard and Edwards, Cole and Shaibu in midfield. Someone has to have a look at Shaibu's attributes. There you go. There's Shaibu's attributes. There's nothing to write home about. On paper, he shouldn't be as good as he is, but he's a hero. So he's going to be starting in midfield. Scanlon on the left, Lowe on the right, and then Breeze and McHugh up front as we look to continue McHugh's emergence as an absolute superstar for us. Ches Stratton getting himself a squad number as well. Very exciting times for him. If you're wondering what's happened to Justinison, my exciting top goal scorer superstar from last season, he has only scored 1 goal this season, so probably wouldn't be in the team regardless, but he's actually off on international duty today anyway, so wouldn't have been involved today, even if he'd have still been my first choice starting striker. But I think we probably go with Breeze and McHugh at the moment because they are forming quite the nice little partnership. Breeze, of course, our new club captain, and McHugh scoring all the goals. So there's not really any room for Justinison at the moment, and I'm starting to think we got a lucky escape not being able to sign him permanently back in the summer when we tried to. Getting him on loan for another year has allowed us to realise he's maybe not quite up to this level. Talking of things not quite up to this level, what is Randall doing there? There is no way a goalkeeper at this level should be beaten by a shot like that. Let's have a look at it from the other angle. I mean, it's a nothing shot. It just rolls along the ground. No real pace to it. I think Randall's positioning was just well off. And it's less than 2 minutes on the clock and we're already 1-0 down, which isn't ideal. Scanlon's going to try and get us back into the match. An immediate reply. We love an immediate reply. Shaibu to Lloyd. Plays it to Cole, who's got space to pick a shot from the edge of the area. And he's scored an almost carbon copy of the one that's just got in at the other end. Neither goalkeeper showering themselves in glory today. But Kevin Cole makes it 1-1. I mean, this one looked a little bit better to my eye. At least he's hit it with a little bit of pace and aimed for the corner. Whereas at the other end, it was very much poor positioning, I think, from Randall. But either way, Randall has excused his previous error. It's 1-1, despite a total XG between the two teams of less than 0.2, which is, again, not showing the goalkeepers in their best light, is it? Dare we mention light on this channel? There's still a few grumpy gooses down in the comments section. Turn the lights on, Kev. I mean, if you can't see me in this light, we need a spectacle sponsorship. I haven't done one of them for about 5 years. I think it was Glasses USA we did a sponsorship with years ago. If they're still a thing, if they want to come and sponsor me again, everyone who still can't see me probably needs to go and have a word with them, because I can see myself very clearly now. And also the backdrop isn't even done. These, you see, we've got the Avengers Lego sets behind me now. They weren't here in the last episode. Well, I've actually got the light kits for them. So when I find the time to do it, which will probably be a week or two now, because I'm off doing shenanigans for the rest of this week now, which you probably know about by now. But I won't mention the specific shenanigans just in case you don't. But I'm off doing shenanigans for the rest of this week. So I haven't got time to do it before I go, but both of these sets behind me will be fully lit up fancy buildings. And I think once we've got a little bit of light coming in this corner as well, we've already got the light over this side. I think we're as illuminated as we were in the old office, which, considering this is a much bigger room, is no mean feat, because in the old room, I didn't even need to have the overhead lights on. It was just a case of have the face lamp on and it would light up the entire room, because I was basically in a cupboard. I could touch the back wall from where I sat at my desk before. It was impossible for that room not to be illuminated just by having my phone light on. Whereas this is a full-size room, a little bit harder to light up to the degree the old one was. And to be fair, don't really want it lit up the way the old one was. The old one looked like a children's TV presenter's broom cupboard. I want this to look like an adult's gaming room / office, and I think it looks a little bit more like that now, and I like it. I like the lighting. We're sticking with it, apart from the bit we're adding in there, just to lighten up this dark corner. It's 2-2. There's goals flying in all over the place in this game. The goalkeepers, unbelievably, Randall is on a 7.1. I'm not really sure how, because he's had 2 opportunities to make a save and hasn't. But either way, there you go. He's back down to a 6.9 now. It's 2-2. We're certainly showing that we're capable of scoring goals. Unfortunately, we are a little bit porous defensively as well. But ultimately, first season in this league, we'll be very happy to avoid relegation. And we all know the route to avoiding relegation is meeting the Kev ratio. And as it stands right now, a draw is enough to keep us on the Kev ratio. 9 points from 9 games. That'll do nicely. Thank you very much, especially away from home against a team with playoff aspirations. That works for me. Right, let's. What isn't working for me is my spacebar button on my mouse. So that probably needs fixing. Can I fix that? I'm not going to fix it while I'm recording. I'll fix it after this match. But I'm going to have to press the buttons on the screen or use my other hand. Anyone who plays Football Manager with 2 hands, I worry a little bit about you. So I'm not going to be using my other hand to push the actual spacebar. Football Manager, one-handed enterprise. So I am going to have to move the mouse around the screen and actually click things for the rest of this match, which is troublesome, to say the least. Cole plays it forward to Edwards. Edwards has got a load of space to run into, and he's found McHugh, who takes a very heavy touch and gives the ball away immediately. But talking of giving the ball away, the posh keeper's given it to Scanlon, who finds Breeze. Cole, of course, is on a hat-trick. Oh, that's an audacious effort from the edge of the area from Breeze. Couldn't quite get it to duck down underneath the crossbar, but it was very much the right idea. He's not had a very good game, but if he'd have scored that, he'd have walked away with the Man of the Match award just off the basis of one touch of the football. Shaibu crunching into a tackle in midfield, but as with most tackles in FM24, the ball ends up back with the opposition immediately after the tackle, because that's how tackling works apparently. And with an hour gone, it's still 2-2. It's Posh with the corner, and they're doing a shenanigans one, and we all know what that means. The moment we see the shenanigans corner come in, it's as good as a penalty in FM24. I just wish there was a way to tell my boys to do this every single corner. If we had the old style set piece creator on this version of the match engine, corners would be absurd. Talking of absurd, Breeze has just scored a free kick. There's been some shocking goalkeeping today, but I think that was the pick of the bunch, because there's absolutely no way. This is shin height straight at the goalkeeper in the centre of the goal, and has somehow ended up in the back of the net for 3-3. Both of these goalkeepers, absolutely appalling performances today, but it's working in our favour at the moment. 3-3. Let's take off low. Muller is going to come on the right-hand side, and oh dear, Edwards has not had a very good game at all. D'Souza can come on for him. I was kind of planning on bringing on Fenty for Breeze, but Breeze has just scored a wonder goal. So we'll leave things as they are for now, and Fenty can sit on the bench for a little bit longer. He is a creative force that does pair very nicely with McHugh. But as you've just seen from Breeze, apparently he's got a free kick goal in him, so we shouldn't discount him too much. 10 minutes to go. What have we got that can mix things up a little bit? The midfield, both tiring. So we have got the youngster, Ches Stratton, who's in on loan, and Josh Hill can both come on in midfield. And then I think we are going to bring on Fenty. We're going to stick him on the right-hand side. Muller can go over to his preferred left-hand side, and we get 10 minutes of Fenty trying to create something for McHugh. McHugh's been quiet today. He's ended up with a decent rating, a 7.2 rating, but hasn't looked like scoring a goal. So hopefully he's got a last-minute winner in him to maintain his goal-a-game record that he's had during this second spell at Wembley. And there is a ball over the top for McHugh. This is a chance for him, but he squares it for Breeze. And I can understand why Breeze has aimed that straight at the goalkeeper, because he did that from the free kick and it worked. Unfortunately, lightning doesn't strike twice, and he's missed an absolute sitter. It is the 89th minute. Muller with the corner, looking for the in-swinger. We've got the big boys loaded up in the penalty area. It misses all of them, and Fenty has just missed the chance of the match. I think he was offside anyway. The linesman's flag was up, but how he's hit that over from there, I have absolutely no idea. It remains 3-3, but we've missed two huge chances in the last couple of minutes, and that usually means only one thing. The opposition are going to go ahead and grab the winner. Randall remembers he's allowed to use his hands 90 minutes into the football match, which is jolly nice. And now can we just have some excellent distribution? That is so dangerous. Lloyd just decides to get rid of it. It's the 90th minute away from home against a team that are better than us. I know we like to play out from the back, but there's a time and a place. Muller trying to slot it in for Breeze to chase. Breeze probably isn't the man to be chasing. You want McHugh going after that one really with his pace, but wasn't to be. And now it's Posh coming at us again as we have one of these long highlights just at the start of this added time. And I suspect they're about to grab a goal. It's a penalty. It's the softest penalty I've ever seen. D'Souza apparently gave the penalty away. I don't even know what for. And here comes the last minute Posh winner. Unless Randall can make the save, he can't. I mean, it's very upsetting. It's very frustrating. We're gonna demand more, because I think we are probably worth a draw today. It's been a very even match, highlighted by poor defending and poor goalkeeping more than good attacking. But it does feel a little bit harsh that we've lost the match, probably because the spacebar button on my mouse didn't work. So we'll get that fixed before the next game. I am going to play the in-betweeny match, the EFL Trophy game against Swindon off camera, and then we'll be back for Ipswich. Well, a penalty victory over Swindon leaves us second in our EFL Trophy Group, no one cares. Still nobody cares. Although I guess the final is at Wembley, so it is a potential route. But most importantly, Ipswich in the league, who are just above us. We are down in 21st place off the back of the defeat against Posh Ipswich, 4 points ahead of us, but we've got a game in hand over them. It would be very handy for us to beat them. And it's also handy that we've got 2 players back who are missing for the previous game. Nkatha has returned from injury. He's missed the last 5 or 6 games of injury, so he comes back in midfield. And Bunce was away on international duty for the last match, and he can come back in on the right-hand side. It worries me that he's one of our best players, and the team's interested in him, and non-league teams who want to take him on loan. I'm not going to read too much into it. In other news, not been able to fix the mouse button. I don't know what's wrong with it. It won't work, so I'm having to play two-handed like an actual caveman, pressing the spacebar with my left hand, which is directly under the microphone. So if you hear the odd click, 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 that's because I'm having to press the spacebar, as mentioned before, like a caveman. At this point, I expect there's going to be people going, what's he talking about with the spacebar? I've just revealed the spacebar as the continue button to people who've been in the no spacebar wilderness for many years. You've just reached the first level of Football Manager evolution, discovering the spacebar. It took me 15 years playing the game before I discovered the spacebar, but discovering the spacebar is the first step. The second step is then mapping that spacebar to a mouse button, so you never have to use your other hand ever again. I've now dropped back to just that first stage of enlightenment, and I don't care for it. So I need to figure out why that's not working. But most importantly, we need to beat Ipswich, because we can't lose 2 matches in one episode, especially when we came so very close to getting a point against Posh. And we are going to start things off on the attack here. Just before half-time, Nkatha plays it across to Bunce. The 2 boys who were unavailable in the last match combine to set up McHugh. McHugh's just been named League One Player of the Month off the back of his explosion into the team, and he's demonstrating again just why he's won that award by grabbing a goal. But it's Nkatha, the playmaker, plays it across to Bunce, nods it down. McHugh reacts faster than everybody, which is basically his trademark. He's so quick, and demonstrated it there to grab the goal. 1-0 up at half time. That'll do very nicely. If things could end like this, I'd be very, very happy. It's jolly nice having a playmaker in the team again. We've only got 1 player at the club who can do it, Nkatha, the only one who can, but he does quite a good job of it. I quite enjoy watching him make plays. Bernard plays it into him. Look, he's going to do some playmaking here. He's giving the ball away. Sometimes you'll get that with the playmaker. They'll give the ball away. Oh dear, that's a very flat back four. Let's just let them dance through, and it's a frustratingly good goal. 30 seconds into this second half, and we've been pegged back. And I mean, we talked in the previous match about iffy defending, and we've seen it again there. Our defensive line, I mean, I'm not worried about how high they are. That's fine. It's how flat they were. But with Bedard just dropping back, playing everybody on. I don't think I've got him on a covering instruction. I'm now checking. No, he's not on a covering instruction. He was 1.5 yards behind that defensive line. If you're going to play a line that high, you got to be a proper line. And we weren't, and we've just let them through. And the finish was the icing on the cake for them. It was very frustratingly good. And Randall played a really good game in the EFL Cup game. Was the hero of the penalty shootout, but yeah, couldn't stop that one going in. And now we've got some tired little legs. D'Souza's going to come on again. And Nkatha is going to come off because he's just returning from injury. So Shaibu can come on for him. And Bunce can come off for Fenty. Is that the best role for Fenty on that wing? It is, apparently. He's not particularly quick, but he is very creative. So hopefully he can create something for us. His best role is probably in behind a striker, which isn't really something we do. We could switch to a 4-2-3-1, I guess, but Breeze and McHugh have formed quite a nice partnership. Although once again, Breeze not really doing anything today, but he wasn't really doing anything in the Posh match either, and then turned up with a goal, albeit a goal that didn't really count for anything because we still lost. And we might still lose today because Ipswich peppering the goal. Randall doesn't fill me with confidence at all. And he's kicked the ball straight to the Ipswich players there. If we could win it back, that'd be super. It doesn't look quite like it's going to happen, though. And they're better than us, aren't they? It's what we find quite often, especially when we start making the substitutions. I realise our bench players aren't as good as our starters. The only problem is our starters aren't fit enough to play the full 90. Shaibu's done good work there, though. He's as good as the starters. He's probably feeling a little bit hard done by to not be in the team, even though he is only 2.5 stars and nothing good on paper. He always does well in the match engine, as you saw again from him there. But ultimately, it's done us no good because Ipswich have still got the ball. They are still attacking, and it feels like a goal is coming, and there is the goal. And once again, we are the victim of a late goal, and it's fitness. And it does make me wonder, do we have to maybe move away from the gegenpress just to keep our best players on the pitch for the full match? Is that even a realistic aspiration? Let's get Justinison on. So Justinison's going to come on. Scanlon's on as well. And we're going to go very attacking. We've got the big boy on. Justinison, this is an opportunity for him to force his way back into the team. I mean, theoretically, this should be the partnership, Justinison and McHugh. But like I say, Justinison not really showing his worth at this level just yet, despite scoring as many goals as he did last year in the league below. He's not really made the step up, but Scanlon wins the ball there, shoots from range. What a goal from Scanlon! It's 2-2. Wonderful stuff from Scanlon. Talking of players making the step up, he's been with us since non-league and has just scored an absolute thunderous equaliser. Wonderful work from him. And I mean, are we going to give Justinison credit for the distraction? Probably not. I don't think you get credit for that, but it's a lovely goal from Scanlon, and we've switched back to a positive mentality. We're happy with a draw here today. It does just pop our heads up above the relegation zone with a game in hand because of that international break that we've just had, because we've got so many youngsters who go away on international duty. And even though they were unavailable for the last game anyway, so I don't really understand how that works. We got to cancel one match, but not the other one. So we were still at a disadvantage, but it's Ipswich trying to reattain their lead. They're not able to. It ends 2-2. I guess we can cope with it. We just need to not get relegated this year, and I think we're good enough to not get relegated. That's the plan. FA Cup shenanigans start soon. We play Posh again in the EFL Trophy. We probably won't show you that one, but we might be back for the start of another cup run, because I tell you what, we could do with another cup run. We could get up over £1 million. Imagine what we could do with that kind of money. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.